her book release, and I think we should emphasize that. And she is hands down one of the best poets I've ever encountered in my life. Her work is never not fantastic. She's also one of the smartest people I know and one of the kindest.
Oh, wow.
Like, if we
now lower
if we had to replicate Snežana a billion times, we would live in a utopia.
Amazing. Give it up again for Dawn. Let me give a counterpoint to that praise. I don't know. There's things like, why would I say anything mean? I'm not gonna do that. I wouldn't do that, but
She roasts me on a daily basis.
she loves it.
I do love it.
Brown trout.
Oh yeah, brown trout.
Story, yeah.
You need to know that when you hear Snežana say smart things, right? She's brilliant. I love her. Been loving her for 20 plus years, right? But she did say, this is many years ago, when I say something, just fact check me, because there's a good chance.
Ask for evidence.
Ask for evidence, because I'm saying things that they're plausible, but they may not necessarily be 100% true. But, and so the story's too long for me to tell you how we came up with the term brown trout, right? But the great thing about it is, very, very self-awarely, she'll say, okay, brown trout. And then she'll go into whatever the sort of idea of the thing is that she'll say. And it's always a lot of fun to talk about, no matter what it is. So don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Anyway, so Snežana Zabic is going to come up and read from, right? You going to read from this?
That's right, only
Concrete is more beautiful, disfigured, and stained.
Thank you all. Yeah, so my full name is Snežana Zabic. I go by Sneža, rhymes with Asia. I live here in Rogers Park. I've been living here since 2018. But I'm originally from former Yugoslavia, which broke up in 91 when I was 17. And that kind of determines everything. and I think it's just good to know. And this book, Concrete is More Beautiful, Disfigured and Stained, is the result of my work, but also the work of people who read drafts of these poems and gave me comments. And that includes the present company, and also Nico over there and Jenny. So thank you to all of them. And yeah, I'll just read a selection. I know, like, listening to poetry can be kind of challenging, and our minds wander. These gift bags contain notebooks and pens, so if you want to take it out and doodle, I would do that if I were you. All right, so just gonna read a bunch of poems. This one is called "The Unemployed of the World." I apply the rest of my cologne, step out to the balcony of this home. My world is mid-century facades designed in positivist offices by architects and city planners in checkered suits, poring over blueprints through thick lenses in Michael Caine frames. My world is concrete that looks better disfigured and stained. My world is stray dogs, garages and storage units, bare poplars and maples. Did the planners know back in the 50s how we'd intervene in their design with our desires, retinas, and glitchy nervous systems? We worked and lost our jobs. I sit on my parquet floor and arrange boxes of tea in a semicircle around me. I'll brew and brew all day. Think of domesticating a magpie. Orbison. Researchers have baked a loaf of bread with ancient Egyptian sourdough they extracted from a terracotta bowl fragment. They ate that loaf. People have always believed in the eternal return, etched that belief into pottery, slid choruses into songs, inserted steel rods into cinder blocks. They knew concrete is more beautiful disfigured than stained. Roy Orbison once released a song without a chorus, a different chord progression for each verse. He sang with his whole vocal range. The phrase "in dreams" returned again and again. Radio DJs played the song. It was February '63. Those radio waves carried Roy into deep space at the speed of light. It's 2020. Roy has reached the system of Mu Array and its planets, visible from the southern hemisphere. Researchers have detected a rocky planet there that makes a full circle around its sun in 10 Earth days. Write on an empty stomach before sleep, or don't. Everything is all right. I like how when we read, your mouth will say a word that's not on the page. And I kind of welcome that. Stop worrying about it. Parallel lines. No lift, no mountain slopes, no pairs of parallel lines. Even in the 80s, skiing was for the well-to-do. I'd stop by K69 for a hot dog and tea, just a kid and a tough red plastic kiosk, a bite, a sip, fogged up glasses. Now it's hot pretzels after work, and work never ends, but tap water remains clear and odorless. I sing praises to chlorine as it evaporates like a ghost of science. One day, workers' ski resorts will reopen. I'll find myself on a hilltop. I'll fall and slide softly to the bottom on my back. My skis a victory sign in the air. For water processing plants, for the well-to-do. And this one is kind of a confessional poem. I was a criminal once. I shouldn't be here, but 1992. As an undergrad, I fed my hunger almost nothing. A cup of green Russian tea at the Belgrade Philharmonic Orchestra Club, served in a demi-tasse, on a small plate with a sugar packet and a silver spoon that had lost its sheen. Undergrads and orchestra members sat at parallel tables with glass ashtrays, and you lived with tobacco smoke and ashes, whether or not you indulged. I fed the single bookshelf in my rented apartment with soft and hardbound volumes, 2 rows per shelf, many books acquired through theft. Was I a talented thief? Or did bookstores and libraries let me walk away with the loot? The world had collapsed by then. I fed my Walkman batteries. I fed my hunger corn I would pop in a large pot on the stovetop. Sometimes an egg stolen from an almost empty supermarket. I'd pretend I wanted to buy a quarter of a loaf of day-old bread. They'd give it to me for free. The sales clerk in her blue uniform would pretend she did not know there was an egg in the depths of my coat pocket. The faint warmth of my thigh was sending new information through the eggshell to the very center of the yolk. Being a thin, cute young girl helps you not get arrested there and here. Spring soup. I grew up and made dinner. My spring soup is powder and noodles, instructions printed on the back of the bag. I serve it to myself in a bowl and spoon set I purchased online, porcelain or ceramic, I'm no longer sure. In 1999, I could walk to work or take the tram, marginal alt text in the code of Prague. As one state crumbled, another secret was erected. All glory to cranes, cement, bulldozers. I do kind of deal with privilege I live with in poetry and everything, so this is kind of about that. It's called, but also with all the shit that happened in the past. So I like poetry because I can take you on a little time travel trip, you know, and so that's what a lot of these poems do. This one is called, What Did You Write on March 24, 2020 in Chicago? I wrote oatmeal in the morning, rolled oats, raspberries, and raw hemp seeds. I wrote a cup of loose leaf black tea imported from Russia while my oatmeal bowl cooled. Royalty Tsar Nicholas II, the box said. The same emperor who ordered pogroms, the box omitted that part. His empire fell one March day, but people never learn. I wrote my red bowl, my rose-colored cereal, my maple syrup that glimmered over it all. Exactly 21 years ago, I spent that March day in Belgrade waiting for the missiles. The missiles arrived, and I went to my building's basement, full of neighbors and books, and old Cadillac covered in dust, and no washers and dryers. Today, I wrote a hot shower at 10 p.m., after I wrote the thermostat down to 65. I wrote a hearty pasta dinner, a sauce I built on a foundation of celery, carrots, scallions, garlic, red wine. I wrote 2 loads of laundry, 4 quarters per load in my building's basement, 4 quarters per load in the dryer. Had to revise the dryer cycle, my stuff still damp the first time, 4 quarters more. I wrote a hot shower in the afternoon. That's when my hair went from oily to clean under my fingers, massaging my scalp. I wrote my body dry with my red towel. I wrote my skin supple with perfumed lotion. In the progress of the pandemic, I lived like a king, not because I deserved it, as petite bourgeoisie do before each collapse. I think I'm gonna read 2 more. This is like also when we play music live. There's always like 2 more songs warning. So 2 more poems warning. And I do have postage and numbers and stuff. So I felt called out.
I didn't make fun of those people. They said I wasn't.
Yeah. But those people have that ring to it.
I mean, you could be one of those people if you want.
I didn't have time.
Take notes.
So I live here in Rogers Park, and there are a lot of like locales from the neighborhood mentioned in the book, and this is one of them. It's called the Fargo Beach Report. It stormed today, and hail gathered on concrete balconies from the late 60s. In the early 70s, our elevator got that distinct smell: organic matter, burnt plastic, tobacco, waste, the mechanism of ropes, steel, and industrial lubricants. The architect ached for construction workers to build her a livable monument that could grow into a hybrid organism, an endless cycle of rebirth. She could use only reinforced concrete that looks better disfigured and stained. That will meet its end as a small planet of rubble not too long after the architect's death. It's April 2020, at the end of a cul-de-sac, where a young lady sees me and vanishes into her vestibule. My glasses are foggy. I face the lake alone. Take off my mask, my vision clears. The water olive green, the ducks and the seagull are at ease. The lake has reclaimed Fargo Beach. And this final poem is called June 10, 2020. And it opens with a quote from Revolutionary Letter number 19 by Diane de Prima. And that quote says, "If what you want is jobs for everyone, you are still the enemy. You have not thought through clearly what that means." Outside my ground floor window, the sky turns darker than asphalt at 9 a.m. as remnants of the storm disintegrate, soaking the concrete that looks better disfigured and stained. I made my bed and now I'm eating watermelon chunks on it, waiting for thunderstorms and gale winds and a new pair of canvas lace-up shoes. Once, poets wanted to bring their spoken word to the people. No one but other poets listened, and tourists came to gawk at the freaks. No more improvised stages and microphones for me. No over-the-top delivery. Maybe I'll fry some eggs, make some coffee in that red enamel jezva made in Slovenia. We have sliced whole grain Italian bread, and the chickens live on an Amish or Mennonite farm, and I would like my words to live in silence. On a page or a screen, in poor people's hands when a break is needed, a break between two ambulances, two marches, a page to wait till they get out of jail. Diane de Prima said, "Ask for anything." And once again, some of us do. And the best protest poetry is composed by victims in front of their murderers, in front of accomplices, in front of witnesses. This is not a protest poem. This is not a revolutionary letter. I have no advice for this campaign, except the echo of that one line, "Ask for everything." The rich are the only guilty ones, and the planet will be fine without us. Thank you.
Give it up again for all the readers. There's also snacks, and if people want to get up and stretch or use the restroom, go check out a library book or any other kind of object in this wonderful place.